BBN quick clips, videos that you might have missed.
Mysonne, Wack 100, beefing, it seems. And guess what? Both of them might be right. Or at least no one might be wrong.
Me and the Notification Gang would like to invite everybody to come join us Monday through Thursday, 9:20 to 10 o'clock for morning coffee, where we discuss the events of the prior day and also just talk mess about stuff. See you then.
Oh, Black Dynamite, I wish it was that simple, but this is much bigger than you and me.
Hey, little mama, it may be bigger than you and it may be bigger than me, but it ain't bigger than you and me. Can you dig it?
BBN, Jack Frost. What's up, party people? Alright, so yeah. So apparently there is a beef. I don't know if it's stewing, I don't know if it's brewing, but apparently there is a beef between Mysonne, the General, and Wack 100. Okay. Now, before we go any further, I think this is all just a misunderstanding. And I think this is one of those misunderstandings that, since it's between two, tough guys. And I'm not saying tough guys, quote unquote tough guys. I'm saying, these guys are real tough guys for real. You can say whatever you want about Wack 100, but he doesn't ever seem to back down, period, from anything. And you can say whatever you want to say about Mysonne, but Mysonne is really out here in these streets, and he's really out here going face to face with these police, and he's really out here putting himself in compromising situations. If you don't want to acknowledge that either which one of these two men are doing that, then I don't know what to tell you. But, these are real tough guys, for real, for real. Anyway, they have a new beef going on. Now, before we go any further, I do want to say this. Wack has a way. I've been following Wack. We got a ton of Wack 100 videos on this channel. Please, I need y'all to go check out the videos if you really want to get a better understanding about what I'm about to say about Wack 100. Wack 100 be joking a lot. Like, you know how it's those guys, right? That they'll say something, but they dead serious. But then if they take it the wrong way, they act like it's a joke. I don't think he's doing that. I think Wack 100 is seriously joking a good deal of the time. But since he's one of them people that don't, he doesn't have, I think he has a boundaries issue. He doesn't know what to joke about. He doesn't know certain things. Don't make fun about that because that person is going to take that personally. And then when a person takes it personally, Wack 100 then turns around and says, I was just playing with you. And he really probably was just playing with you. So let me explain the situation where I think all of this went left, just so we could be clear. Mysonne said that he's doing a video shoot out in California. I do remember him posting a couple of days ago. Does anybody know a videographer or cinematographer or something like that? He's trying to do some work out there. He said Wack 100 hit him up. When Wack 100 hit him up, they spoke on the phone, yada, 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 this and this and that. And then Wack 100 at one point or another went to social media. When Wack 100 at one point or another went to social media, he was making some kind of references to George Floyd. Mysonne took that away. Now, with all due respect to both parties involved, I think Mysonne should have taken that away. Just so we could be clear, whether you hate Mysonne or love Mysonne, listen to what I gotta say. Mysonne has been being accused, Mysonne, Tamika Mallory, and the Until Freedom Movement, Queen Tamika Mallory, and the Until Freedom Movement have been being accused of jumping on whatever hot story that they can whenever something happens to a black person in order to make money. Now check this out. First of all, if their job is public advocating, right? They're literally out there advocating for our people. Could we please stop talking about how much money they are and are not making? Are you out there advocating for our people? When somebody die in Tennessee, do you go pull up in Tennessee? When something happens in Kansas City, do you go pull up in Kansas City? When something happens in Atlanta, so I don't want to hear, this is just me personally speaking, I don't want to hear about how their movement is funded. They got a whole movement going on over there. They need funding. They get their funding. If you're not one of the people even giving them funding, how are you complaining about what they doing with the funding? Boom. Anyway, so when Wack 100 goes online and he starts making whatever references he made, I didn't see them by chance, by the way. He makes whatever kind of reference he's making to George Floyd and Mysonne. I think Wack 100 didn't realize that he was probably hitting a sore spot. Because these people are constantly being accused of doing, you know, basically being a ghoul. For everybody that don't know, a ghoul is somebody who makes money off the dead. Or robs, or a grave robber, basically. They're accusing Mysonne, Queen Tamika Mallory, and the Until Freedom movement of being ghouls or whatever the case is. But I live in New York City, and I'm gonna let y'all know, these guys is really locked in with these politicians over here. They really are doing things. Their voice means something. They are heard. They are really locked in. So for the individuals that want to act like they not, like, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, so Mysonne took that away. And as much as I am on Mysonne's side on this particular matter, I also, since I have a little slight understanding of what Wack 100 is usually doing, I don't think Wack 100 meant anything by it. That's just me speaking. I think Wack 100 really was just, he knows him for the joys, he knows him for a lot of things, obviously. But he knows that he was on the forefront of the George Floyd situation, and we haven't heard about George Floyd in a while. I do news. There's nothing to report. There's a reason why you haven't heard about George Floyd. What are they supposed to be out there yelling George Floyd and there's nothing to report? They go between George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, because when something's happening with Breonna Taylor, they let us know. When something's happening with George Floyd, they let us know. I mean, damn, yeah, I'm letting y'all know too, but that's not the point. Anyway, so now it seems like these guys are not on speaking terms. And I'm just going to keep it a stack. I think Wack 100 was joking. And I understand Mysonne's grief, or Mysonne's way that he took what he's taken. Mysonne is literally out there in the front lines, y'all. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I don't think they like me much, but Mysonne is literally out there on the front lines. We're going to get this man his flowers. We're also going to give as many flowers as possible to Miss Queen Tamika Mallory. We need to just get all of the flowers. We're gonna make a giant bouquet. It's gonna be in the Macy's parade. It's gonna be beautiful. With that being said, don't mind me, y'all. With that being said, I want to know what y'all guys think about this situation. Like, do y'all think Mysonne had a right to be upset? And do y'all think that Wack 100, after Mysonne said his piece, Wack 100 came back to, like, you know, kind of like throw threats? You know, he doing the Wack 100 thing. It's like, come on, man, I was joking. You're taking this too serious. Now, with that being said, Wack 100 referenced Mysonne's arrest. Mysonne, for everybody that don't know, Mysonne went to jail for, I think, about 7 years. I'm not 100% sure. I hope I'm not getting that too wrong. But Mysonne went to jail for about 7 years. It was because a cab driver had gotten robbed, I believe. Mysonne is saying he did not rob the cab driver. The story in which I'm hearing, I'm not 100% sure about this, but a story in which I heard, I hope somebody could come down in the comment section and tell me and put me on the game if I'm wrong. But this is the story I heard. Mysonne took a cab somewhere. When Mysonne took the cab to the place, the cab driver tried to get over on him. Now, if you're not from New York City, especially back in the 90s, then in the 90s, early 2000s, you don't know about that? Before all of this Uber, cab drivers was always getting over on you. You, like, let's say you at point A and point B. You go from point A to point B all the time. They're two different, they're two places that you basically live or something like that, right? Like your aunt's house and your home or whatever the case is. You can go on a Tuesday, that shit will be $10, and then you go on a Wednesday and that mofo is going to try to charge you $15. So what basically, I'm telling you, these are facts. Everybody in New York City, tell me I'm wrong. This is like back in the 90s, early 2000s, even in the 80s. So check this out. This is what happened. So Mysonne, this is what I heard happen. So Mysonne takes the cab. He goes to wherever the cab is dropping him off at. He gets into an argument with the cab driver because he believes that the cab driver is trying to cheat him. This is what I heard. I do not know how accurate this is. He believes the cab driver is trying to cheat him. What happens is some people from the block woke up on the cab driver. They end up robbing the cab driver. Mysonne didn't rob the cab driver. But I'm going to tell y'all about another. This is what Mysonne is saying. This is Mysonne's story. I believe him. Because I'm going to tell y'all about, I've seen that with a thing that got described. I've seen that more than once. I know people, for everybody that don't know, one of the things that people used to do back in the 90s and in the late 80s was set cab drivers up. I am not saying that this is what Mysonne has done, but I'm explaining to you why he could get caught up in this particular situation with the police and with the judges. What people used to do was, people would go, they used a female most of the time, because the cab drivers was not stopping for dudes. I'm trying to tell you. So they used a female most of the time. The female would get in the cab, take the cab somewhere deserted. When she gets out, people will rush the cab driver and rob him. Remember, Cash App, stuff like that didn't exist back then. People wasn't using credit cards and the cash. The cab driver had all cash on them. People used to rob cab drivers all the time. Sometimes, cab drivers got killed. I'm keeping it the stack. Anyway, so that's the situation that basically happened, or from what I heard happened with Mysonne. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not 100% sure. But basically, he took a cab somewhere. The cab driver tried to get over on him. He was arguing with the cab driver. Some other people walked up, robbed said cab driver. And then next thing you know, Mysonne got caught up in that. And that's how he went to jail. So I don't know if that's 100% what happened, but that's the story that I heard. Anyway, let me know what y'all guys think about this. Leave it down in the comment section. And we're not doing these two dudes fighting thing. We're not doing that. Stop. And I think most of the time Wack is just joking. I think that he just makes jokes about shit that people ain't ready to laugh with him on. So it gets serious. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one. I'm out.
If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to help dictate the direction that this channel takes, please leave a comment. All comments are appreciated, whether positive or negative. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. And remember, positive thoughts cause for positive things to happen. Let's get it.
Mike Giant.
Oh, Black Dynamite, I wish it was that simple, but this is much bigger than you and me.
Hey, little mama. It may be bigger than you, and it may be bigger than me, but it ain't bigger than you and me. Can you dig it?